Okay, we'll let everybody trickle in. Thanks everybody for joining us for another GSN webinar. We're excited to have you back, and we're thrilled to have Victoria and Melissa here from Millennium Systems International with us again for why reputation management is critical to spa success, which is going to be a really interesting topic. I'm excited to hear about that. They're going to be speaking the whole time, but feel free to submit any questions in the chat box and we'll get to them throughout the webinar. And thanks again for joining us, and welcome to you both.
Excellent. Are we ready to go?
We're ready to go.
Excellent. Thank you, Megan, and thank you, Green Spa Network, and the community that is joining in and taking the time to learn about reputation management. And if you were in our first part of the series, which was email marketing, thank you for coming back. And if you didn't see that yet, you can watch the replay, and this will be recorded, so you'll get to watch the replay on this as well. But thank you, everybody, for making the time to come here. This is an important topic. Something Melissa and I are very passionate about, which you'll see as we go through our slides here. So we want to make it interactive and fun, and we'll get into all the details without any further ado. So again, thank you for joining. My name is Victoria Vitarelli. I oversee marketing and sales at Millennium. So I bring a lot of marketing experience with me to this conversation in terms of marketing and running businesses. And what reputation management means as part of your marketing plan. And I'm going to flip it over to Melissa so she can introduce herself.
Hi, welcome everybody. And like Victoria said, if you're coming back for the second time, welcome back. We're so happy to see you. I am a trainer at Millennium Systems International. I'm also a licensed massage therapist. So many of you out there watching may be like me. I love being able to work with businesses with Millennium, doing online training or being in a platform like this in a webinar. So please, if you haven't already, go ahead and tell us where you're joining from, right in the chat box. We'd love to interact with you today.
Excellent, excellent. And also, while you're getting used to the chat box there and getting all set up and situated and getting your beverages and your notes or whatever you're doing, let us know if you're familiar with reputation management. Like, what is this phrase? What is this all about? So just put it all in there and we will answer questions at the end. And then also we'll try and get to some as we go along. Let's talk about Millennium Systems International. Some of you may be already familiar with us. Some of you may already be on our signature software, Mevo 2. But just in case, let's talk about it. So we've been in the business for over 30 years, developing software solutions for salons and spas. John Harms right here, that's our founder. He is very much still involved in the day-to-day business. I was just on a call with him earlier. He's very involved with the community of our customers specifically, and really has built this business on listening to what customers need, what businesses need to run and grow. That is really core to our values, and what our software is about is helping businesses grow, not just scheduling and reporting, although that is a big piece of it as well. As I mentioned, Mevo 2 is our signature software. It is cloud-based. So we will be referencing Mevo 2 here. We promise you it is not a sales pitch, but it's what we know best. And obviously we're very passionate about it. And it is built to make marketing and make these things that really will help your business grow easier to do, and not a big time suck and not a stress. So we will reference it. And, you know, we continually support our customers. We always provide ongoing education and support, guidance, whether it's through walkthroughs, whether it's one-on-one, you know, dedicated training, workshops, webinars. That is really core to our DNA as well. And fun fact about Millennium is a minimum of 20%, at least 20% of our workforce, we're about 220 employees, based in New Jersey. We are actually officially work from home. So we are in our respective homes. That's why we have these lovely backgrounds. This is my wallpaper. Just kidding. My Zoom wallpaper here. We have a lot of fun with these video calls, as you can tell. But 20% of our audience, of our employees, have worked in the field. So just like Melissa, maybe they were service providers, maybe they've worked behind the front desk, maybe they've owned a business, maybe they were stylists, either way. And that is across every department in our company. So that really adds to the quality and the know-how of what we put into what we're delivering to our customers every day. So that's a little bit about Millennium. If you have any questions, again, put them in the chat box. All right, let's talk about what we're going to cover today. What is reputation management? I'm sure you can guess, but we want to make sure that everybody's on the same page with this important tool. Why you should monitor online reviews. So there's a tip off of what it is, but your online reviews are critical. I'd love to know if any of you are dealing with online reviews right now. Google My Business page, maybe it's on Facebook. Maybe you have a different way of getting reviews from customers and feedback. Would love to hear it. It's all valuable. How do you collect reviews in general, but also more positive reviews? And what can you do with those reviews? What are some of the best practices around managing reviews and not just getting them, but especially negative reviews? Of course, nobody wants them. They may happen. We'll talk about that as well, and we'll get into some details on that. So with that, let's talk a little about what is reputation management. Again, let's level set and get on the same page with this definition. Excuse me. Basically, reputation management is monitoring your reputation. What are people saying about you? How do they feel about you? How clients perceive your business, your brand also, and then taking strategic action when necessary to improve that image. So one of the things I like to say to customers and other businesses out there is whether you want it or not, you have an online reputation. So many of you have heard the phrase, oh, Google yourself. See what comes up, see if those pictures come up from whenever, or Google your business. More importantly, we're talking about your business, right? What comes up when you Google your business? See what's there and how can we help manage that? More than ever, clients, prospects, customers are using search to find information about your business, information of where you're located, what are your hours, how do I contact you, what's your website, can I book an appointment? More and more people are doing that, especially on their phone. I don't know about you, but I know me, even places that I go to all the time, I was like, oh wait, what time do they open? What's their number? Let me call and just make sure they didn't have any kind of, change in services because of COVID, etc. That is happening more than ever. The other thing to know is a strong online reputation helps attract clients. As you can imagine, if you're going somewhere new, you want to see what people are saying. Oh, is it good? Is it reliable? What's the word on it if you can't find somebody in the middle of the night to give you some information? And it's also the beginning of that customer experience for your business, right? So for someone who's never been to your business before and they found you on search, that's their first impression. You've got a long way to go to get them in the door at that point, but that's their first touch point. So think of that customer experience, not just about inside the spa or inside of your business, but starting at that point where they're finding you. So I want you to expand that purview of the experience. Of course, the services are paramount and how you deliver, absolutely, but you want to get them really interested and hooked in even before they walk in that door. Let's talk about how do you manage this? Like, give me a little more here. What is this? So I will talk about the report on the left in just a moment because that is a tool we have. But how do you manage? What are the things that contribute to the reputation and that first impression? So first thing is you want to make sure that your information across the internet, and I mean across the internet, which is daunting, right? Because there's a gazillion places people can find you. But you want to make sure that your phone number, your address, your hours of operation, your website, and the name of your business is accurate. We have seen on this side, many businesses have changed hands this year. In the past year, some businesses have fell on hard times, or they're like, I'm ready to retire. This is the catalyst to retirement. And then, another salon or a spa buys up that business. And now there are 2 location or 3 location. And they've changed the name, or you're just rebranding. If you're Nancy's Salon, but now you want to be Nancy's Salon and Spa to, expand your service offerings and show that in your name, you want to make sure that that is found not just on your website. It's not enough. It has to be across the internet. We're going to talk about how to do that. Another way to manage your reputation is to collect client testimonials. You know, I had the best facial ever. I felt so good when I left. I feel so good after that massage I had. It took away all that stress I was feeling, you know, this past week. Whatever it is, collecting those is a big piece of your reputation. And then managing those reviews, as we talked a little bit earlier. You know, Google My Business is a key tool for your business, as well as Facebook. If you have a Facebook business page, Yelp is out there, and of course your website. So those are places where your reviews can appear, will appear, and you can manage them in terms of responding, reading them. Just knowing that they exist is really important. That brings me to the tool here on the screen, the 60% listings inaccurate. We have a listing scan tool on our website that is free, that we will give the link to you at the end of the presentation, or this is recorded, so you'll have the PDF and you can link to it. Put in your business name, and it will come back to you. As you can see here, your business name, 60% of it was inaccurate, meaning maybe you changed the name of it. Maybe in some places it's in all capitals. Maybe you added a word. Maybe it's an ampersand or the word and, or a number versus the numeral, right? So you want to make sure that is consistent across the web. Your address, if you move, maybe there was a change in your street, you moved down the street, whatever it might be, you want to make sure that's consistent, as well as the phone number. If you had to change your phone number, if it is a new business for you, but you're keeping the number, you want to make sure all that is connected. So this tool will help you, give you a diagnostic of what it reads across the internet. It's not what Millennium is saying. This is a proprietary software that is in the market that is built into Mevo that reads all this information and says, over here and over here didn't match, and over here didn't match. And you may look at it and say, but it's the same. It's just like a word or a number off or something. But that affects how you come up in search results. So I know we're going to throw a lot at you. So ask more questions, or ask questions if we get a little too far on some of these things. But that's a tool, again, that I think you'll find fun to use, and just to get a sense of like, okay, how accurate or inaccurate is my business information across the internet. With that, I'm going to flip it over to Melissa to get into why you should monitor these reviews and what that does.
Thank you, Vicki. And just to go along with what you were saying, why would you want to monitor your reviews? You want to make sure you can be found. And even though it sounds so simple, and I love how you said, you know, it could be an and symbol. It could be, lots of times we recommend don't put all caps in your name, or make sure if you have an address that has a suite number, it's on the second line. These are simple little areas that you can make sure are accurate. And that accuracy is key, because being found online is everything. And why do you want to be found online? So people can read your reviews. Like Vicki said, more and more people are going online and trusting what their peers are saying about businesses or products, places to go eat, whatever it may be. I'm looking for a nail salon to get a pedicure. Where's a nail salon near me? And when they put in near me, that local discoverability is going to be impacted by if your name is mentioned. By reviews. Google loves reviews. So the better your reviews equals a better chance of showing up in that local search. So you want to make sure that you are, first of all, having reviews. People are giving them to you. You're asking permission to publish them. You're publishing them. And then you're getting that discoverability out there. And factoring in that local SEO knowledge, that search engine optimization knowledge, is really key, because you want to make sure that the words that are being spoken about you are attractable. If that's a word, I'm making it my own word, attractable. You want to be attracting clients. It's a word. It's a word. We'll take it. And there's definitely some words that may cause more people to want to come into your place of business, and some that may not. And you can definitely search for those online as well. And that greater discoverability means you're going to get more people to book online. So the clients, they're looking for reviews. They want to know, the first thing we do is like, well, how good is that place? How many people are getting it 5-star reviews? I want to know. Or did they get a bad review? Now, we're all human. We might get bad reviews sometimes, and that definitely may impact whether or not we want to visit a business. But we're going to talk about today how you can even help with that. So you want to see that response is happening from those businesses. Okay. Now we could go on to the next slide. and Vicky can show us how to collect those positive reviews.
Thank you, Melissa. I'm going to share a quick story because I love sharing stories. Just in terms of, think of your own behavior the last time you searched for something. I'm in the market for a new car next year. So I just started searching on my phone one night. I was bored. I was like, let me look up this car. I thought this car looked good. Let me look at that. I instantly went to what the ratings were, not necessarily in Google, but just what other publications were putting out. And of course, one of them was 7.5 out of 10. Right. And immediately you're like, wait, why is it not a 10? I was hoping for a 9. How come? And I went in to see what people were saying, like, oh, because there wasn't enough headroom. Well, that's not a problem for me. I'm not that tall, and just different things. People, when they're reading these reviews, they know how to, most people, I want to hope, know how to qualify or disqualify these, what they're reading there. So let's talk about, though, how to get more of these reviews, because sometimes you may feel intimidated to say, can you write a review for me? But there's nothing wrong with that. I think everybody wants to help, and your clients want your business to be successful because they want to keep coming back. Like, I know where I go, I want them to stay in business. I was supporting all my businesses during COVID as much as I could because I didn't want anybody to go out. When things opened up, I wanted to be able to go right back in there. So you'd be surprised if you're not already asking for reviews. If you do, people will do it for you. And again, just to reiterate, this helps attract those new clients that are searching for you. You want to retain existing clients. You want to hear what's going on. What is positive about the experience? You don't want to take it for granted that they're leaving with a smile and all is good. So that's just feedback for you and for the team as well. It helps you book more appointments. And as we talked about enough times, the discoverability and search engine optimization. One thing I want to mention here is there's some marketing speak in here and some key phrases that, I talk about 100 times a day that you may not even realize. We have a glossary in the back that gives you some definitions on these things. So don't worry if you're like, what is all this stuff? It's in the back there and we explain it for you a little bit more again. But basically, you want to, thank you, sorry. You want to just make sure that, you have this engagement with your customers. Happy customers will be happy to leave a review. And it also shows your service providers that you're engaging with those customers, you're marketing your business, you want to keep your business healthy. So it's good from a staff culture standpoint, as well as putting that word out there. And they will leave a review if you ask them. One way that we recommend customers do this is we have an automated text setup. So if you have a texting service provider in your business, or if the software that you use has a texting platform, you can put the link right into that and say, thank you so much for coming in today. We appreciate your business. Would you please leave a review on our Facebook page or on our Google My Business page? Easy to be done. Within 1 to 2 hours of that customer coming, or upon checkout, they can just trigger that text message. It's in there. I know I would click on it. If it was easy for me to do, I'd leave a review like, I love my service today. You guys are awesome. Keep it going, whatever. And the other piece of that is you can also then have it, if depending on the system you're using and how your technology is connected, you can also put that on your website and it will automatically populate. So I think the best way to do that is somehow automate it through a text message. If you don't have a text message set up, think about email. You can email your customers, at the end of the day, every day, or at the end of a week, if you want to stretch it out. Although I do recommend the same day, if you can do it. Ask them, give us feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Post it here. And then make sure you follow up and read the reviews. But don't be shy about asking, because it's great feedback and it keeps your business strong and healthy.
Absolutely. And by asking, you're gaining that trust from that client too, which is huge.
Exactly. So a couple things that I started to allude to in the previous slide. What tools are out there? How do I do this? Where do I go? So Google My Business. If you don't have a Google My Business profile set up, at the very least, set that up. Go onto Google, find Google My Business, and set up your business profile. If you have not, I'm sure one of your competitors has. So you want to make sure that you are in there and getting found. So it's free. And you can put in a link to your online booking, a link to your website. There's different ways. Some businesses even have links to their e-commerce if you have an e-commerce store. It is great for improving your local SEO. And what that means is getting found locally. That's how Google, it's all driven with their algorithms. And then it displays your business profile and searches. I think we had it on a previous slide, that whole map of where you're located and where you rank. And it also, on your Google My Business profile, it'll give you analytics and insights. How many people came to your profile? What were they looking for? So it's a great tool. If anyone is already using Google My Business, put it in the chat, let us know. I want to hear if you're familiar with it, if this is like, yes, I've heard that before, or if it's a little bit new to you and we can talk about it even more. Facebook business page. Something else that you should have if you don't already, because there's lots of people still on Facebook, especially, depending on the demographic that you serve, you can have your reviews live on there. You can message people and DM them, say, hey, it was great to see you today. Do you mind leaving a review here? It was such a great new service that we're offering. We'd want people to know about it. And that's a nice place. And it also, people will see that. And then the other piece is within our software of Mevo 2, and again, the software you use may already have this because it's a common feature. We have our own built-in 5-star reviews where it is that text messaging to that customer post checkout that automatically goes in and that you can put right on your website. We have a marketing suite built into Mevo at no extra cost that has email, and it has this online presence management platform, which manages all your online presence. So all these tools that we're talking about here, Google My Business page, Facebook, you're like, I don't have the time, right? Like I'm listening, I'm like, who's doing all this? The good news is within our platform, it pulls your business information that you put in Mevo and pushes it out through the tool onto Google My Business and onto the Facebook page. So all that's happening while you sleep, even while you're awake all day long, it's updating and populating that. You want to change your hours because there's a holiday coming up? No problem. You change it in the software, it automatically pushes it out across the web, I think it's like 120, 140 different platforms across the internet. So your business information is accurate, which is what we talked about earlier on. So again, software or whatever you're using now may have some of these tools, but this is how our tool works. And it's something to think about just as you look at your software differently than just scheduling and reporting and things like that.
Yes, definitely.
What's
So
next?
let's go into what you can do with positive and negative reviews. And like Vicki said earlier, nobody wants a negative review, but the worst thing you could do is just ignore people. So after you discover what your online presence is and see how people are finding you, and maybe create a system or whatever you may be doing to track that and monitor it, you really want to make sure first and foremost, that you're responding to the people who are looking for you. So they're seeing these reviews, they're seeing how great your business is, and they may be saying, oh, we love that service, or thank you so much for that. You want to respond at least within 24 to 48 hours. There's nothing worse than making a customer wait, and then that will put a bad taste in their mouth too. And with the positive reviews, definitely say thank you. Let them know how much you appreciate their feedback and that they matter. People want to know that they feel valued and that, you really enjoy providing this service for them. Now, for the negative reviews, you definitely don't want to ignore those either. And you can, respectfully apologize for the issue. You can offer a solution. You don't have to over-explain. Being a service provider and wanting to help people all the time, if something happened, they didn't like my service, I would feel terrible about that. It would be hard for me not to take it personally, but don't take it personally. Don't over-explain. Be very professional. If you need to create a templated response where you say, thank you so much for your feedback. I apologize for this issue. We are rectifying the situation. We will email you with follow-ups. Simple as that. Then you can fill in the blanks from there.
Yeah.
So first thing,
Melissa, can I interrupt you there?
Yes.
Because me and my stories, right?
I love
we talked about this recently. At Millennium, we monitor our reviews, as a company, as software, and we had a negative review. I'm not going to, hide it. It's there. And a lot of times it's a misunderstanding. And it's nothing, we don't get happy when we have one, obviously, but we couldn't ignore it. And there was a service issue. Somebody was trying to contact us. So rather than get into the back and forth with the person on Google, you definitely don't want to do that. But we looked at it. And the first thing you want to do is just investigate. You can acknowledge this, like, thank you, we will be in touch. But you also want to show that you responded to the customer and you resolved the situation to some degree. Again, you don't have to show everything, but we saw this review and we investigated. We're like, this doesn't sound right. And we looked into it, and it was a situation where this customer was trying to call. He got caught up in a phone chain thing, couldn't get to the person. And he was also an operator. So he was an owner and an operator. So it was hard for us to get in touch with him because he was behind the chair. So it was just a question of like letting him know, like, we've been reaching out to you. We see you've been reaching out to us. Let's find a time. And it turns out he was at a funeral. Like, there was just this whole other big story came out of this unfortunate negative review, which was probably avoidable. But we let it be known, like, thank you for this information. We've resolved this issue. We've contacted you, let us know, so that, it's out there, but people know that we were accountable. We took care of it. We resolved the issue. And it was just a simple misunderstanding in the end, behind the scenes. But it also was feedback for us because we knew we had to improve some of that communication. And it was, with a certain person, again, not getting into it here, but getting a little bit into it. But we found out there was also performance improvement internally, the way that it was handled with leaving messages and contacting and setting up a time and all that stuff. So that made our business better, and how we interacted with some customers. So yes, it's negative and we don't want that, but it's always a form of suggestion and improvement. And you definitely don't want to, as I said, get into the back and forth, like, well, you asked for this and that's what we gave you. And you didn't you didn't pay and we gave you your money. Like, just keep that in the background for yourself and the customer behind the scenes, and let everybody know that you're accountable, you're paying attention, and you resolved the issue.
That's excellent. Thank you for sharing that. And that leads us into the second and third part of the best practices is, for those negative reviews, number 3, you can use that as a learning experience. And I love what you said, Vicki, about acknowledging what happened, apologizing for it. And when you're apologizing in a public forum like that, people are going to see, how are they responding to this? Sometimes how someone responds over adversity is even more attractive than how nice the service was. So keep that in mind, be professional, and use those positive reviews for your marketing campaigns, and ask your clientele base that you've already asked to leave reviews. Thank you so much for giving me that review. Is it okay if I put it on my social media post? I'll give you an example for myself. I went into a hair salon, and it was just part of their practice to say, can we do a before and after shot and put it on social media? Sure, no problem. And they were showing off how well they do their work, and they were being very respectful of me and asking me permission, and they just made it part of their culture. And also make sure you ask permission to put it on the website, or even being able to email their response to other clients. And it could just be a simple tagline. Don't take it from us. Hear what Sally has to say about our services. Susan loved this massage. Rachel thought that facial was the best ever. She'll go to nobody else. And if you see my examples for our 5-star ratings, you can see Kathy is the best. I won't let anyone else touch my hair. You want people to be reading that when they're looking for those reviews. But of course, you can identify those areas in your business. And I'm so glad that we were able to identify that communication error so that we know how to improve.
Great points. Great points.
All right.
Good. Wow, that was fast and a lot, right? Fast and furious. Let's do a quick recap of where we are. And again, please, it's light on questions today, but I'd love any kind of questions. We'd love to answer those questions for you. But let's do a quick recap of, we talked about what is reputation management exactly and how it can help your business, why you need to monitor those online reviews, how to get those online reviews, how to ask for feedback and reviews from customers in that kind of a forum, and then what you can do with the reviews. They can really help with your marketing, with your business, building trust and credibility, social proof, we also like to call it, other people talking about your business versus just you touting yourself. So there's a lot of power behind this with not a lot of effort.
Especially when you automate.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Doesn't have to be
Automation is key. It saves you
It is.
time.
Schedule those posts, make them all go out at the same time. Beauteous.
Exactly. Which I think we're announcing pretty soon that our software will be able to help with some social posting in the next week or so. So fingers crossed on that front. Okay. This is what I was sharing with you before, a business listing scan tool. This top link here that you'll see is where you can go. It's on our website, and you just put in your business name and the report will populate. It'll also be emailed to you. So you'll see that it's free. I'm sure you will learn at least one thing from that where you can improve your online listings. Millennium Inspo. So this is our hub for information, resources on how to grow your business. It's not just about Mevo. It's about email best practices, marketing calendar, key performance indicators, reports, metrics, all kinds of information there. So we invite you to go there to get other information that might help you as you're evolving your business. And of course, if you want to contact us to learn more, we're here. So we put our contact information in there. So Ruth, I'm going to ask, we've got some folks behind the scene, any questions that came up or anything that we might be able to talk a little bit more about?
No questions so far, but I did just drop the link in for the business listing scan.
Oh, okay,
so
great.
That's now in everyone's chat.
Okay, great. And if you can do that now, or if you don't have the time to do that now, you can do it after. It'll be in the PDF in the presentation that's sent to you. So,
And coming from education, I just would like everyone to know that in our education team, we love to be able to help you out. And part of the Millennium Inspos, we have past webinars that are recorded in there as well, where we dive a little bit deeper into our online presence management tool. So if that was interesting to you and you want to learn more, you could definitely learn more about that there, or reach out to us and we'd be happy to train you on how to utilize that.
excellent. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks, Megan. Thank you, Green Spa. This has been fun. I love doing these and educating people on marketing and their businesses and how to make it grow. I really appreciate it.
Thank you both. And it's so true. I was thinking in the beginning, I don't know the last time I typed in a URL. It's always just typing it into Google because I probably misspell it. And then clicking on the first link I see, and then obviously finding a new business, always I'm looking at reviews. But you're right. I look at the reviews and I judge it based on the review and what they're really saying, because it is true to notice just because you have a bad review. I think most people do look at the reviews and go, okay, well, Headspace isn't a big deal for me. So that's definitely true, I think.
Right. Even when you're looking at a book, right? Like
Yeah.
someone recommended a book to me and I was like, oh, let me see what everyone's saying. And of course, you're going to discount it because if it's something you really want to do, you're going to make it right in your mind.
You're
like,
do it.
well, they're not like me anyway, or they're maybe having a bad day. Or you may see something, you're like, I forget what it was, but something my husband and I were looking for. And I was like, I don't know, I'm not reading any love here. Like it's a lot of not great stuff. So, we reconsidered. I forget what I remember, people do take it to heart. So it's important.
It is so important. Awesome. And it's good to know that you guys do everything in one system, because I definitely know that there are day spas on this call too that are doing everything, especially nowadays. We know that, there is a staffing shortage. So,
yes,
having the automation is key.
Yeah, no, we know that. We hear it from our customers too. It is, obviously it's affecting a lot of people. Staffing, culture, time is at a premium. So, we've built that in mind. We built Mevo with that in mind, especially in the past year with the features that we're delivering. But also, there's just your time, there's some setup time in all of this, no matter what you use or where you are. But once you get it going, it doesn't have to be, like we said earlier, a ton, whatever you're using. It's just, but it's worth that initial investment of time to set things up and be conscious about it.
It's worth it because your customers are looking for it and they want that direct line of communication. And once you open it up, you don't want to go back. We always say John Harms is amazing at responding to people on our Facebook site, and it's kind of a competition who can get there first to answering. But you know what? What does that mean for our business to see that our owner, our founder is responding directly?
That's true.
speaks volumes. So I
That's-
encourage you to do the same if you're not already.
That's huge. All right. All right. Thanks, ladies. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. We hope to have you back soon. But for now, these 2 episodes were awesome and very valuable. So thank you again.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks
Have a good
everybody
day.
for showing up.
All right. Bye, guys.
Having a-
Bye.
Bye.